We've come to scenic Dungarvan for rounds 5 and 6 of the Naylor Engineering National Hillclimb and Sprint Championship, hosted by the Imokilly Motor Club.
It was great to see this historic Irish hill climb back in the calendar, with over 60 competitors tackling the course over the weekend. This is a uniquely accessible hill climb for spectators, with the main Cork to Waterford N25 road passing just behind. A short stroll from the top hairpin. This was Michael Connolly's first go at the sweep, but his opening pace was enough to see him clear of the 2015 champion Joe Courtney by nearly 1.5 seconds. We asked him what he thought of this legendary hill.
Yeah, it was quick, but it's funny, after the first practice run I thought it was maybe very bouncy, but when you just get on it, it kind of just smooths out, just skitters along.
Was that a full tilt there on the last go, or were you feeling the temperatures kind of changing?
No, it wouldn't have been, because there's oil spillage and there's no way I was going quicker with oil on the ground. I left probably about a second and a bit behind me in the first run with too much understeer in the last left hairpin, but yeah, it was a good day, happy out, yeah.
Well done. Well, hopefully you get a bit more out of it tomorrow, you know?
Yeah, definitely, there is more, so I'll be looking to drop the time a bit more, so yeah. Thanks.
Joe Courtney is undoubtedly driving very well, but is perhaps getting a little frustrated that his touring car derived Peugeot engine has a considerable power deficit on the F1 derived Judd.
Second overall again to Michael. I think it's 1.4 seconds in it. So I'm happy enough with my pace. Rory Stevens was close enough to me there for a while. But I pulled another 1.5 seconds on him on the last run, so there's about 2 seconds between us, and yeah, look, happy enough now and looking forward to tomorrow again.
We were watching you just after the chicane, and you really seemed to hold the power down and enjoy the aero on this car around the long left-hander. It seemed to really hold the road better than the other two, right. Actually.
Yeah, it is. It's a tricky enough corner, that, because it's quite a bit of the camber on it, and you come through the chicane, but you're trying to keep left to get a straight line to get the power on and get up the long straight.
What kind of speed do you think you're getting on that?
Yeah, well, my shift light's on in top gear, so that's 135 miles an hour or something there, and there's a little kink to the left which is probably flat. I think we're taking about 95% flat anyways today, and then you go under the trees, which when the sunlight is pretty strong, you really need to trust where you're going, because it's hard to see under the trees where the chicane is, and you're coming in there at 130 miles an hour. So it's a different set of challenges, like to the likes of a track or a corkscrew hill or something that's laid out in front of you and you can drive it as you see it. This one you really have to trust yourself that you know the hill, you know where you are at all times, and just pick out your braking points, get them right, and hopefully the rest will fall into place then, you know.
On Sunday morning, Michael stalled at the start line, and Joe set a time that would have won on Saturday, and Rory Stevens was just over a second behind. A brief spell of rain followed run 1, but it cleared again for Michael to really show his pace. Luck was on his side as a coolant pipe waited till he crossed the finish line of run 2 before blowing off. He sat out the remaining runs in order to inspect the engine, but despite an improved time by Courtney on run 3, Connolly's winning margin was over 3 seconds.
Michael Connolly, you're really making a habit of this. How did you find that one?
Good. Challenging day. I stalled it off the first timed run. Yeah, so that kind of put it a bit of a mixed day, and then a bit of a rain, and thought it would rain again. It's had the day over, but run 2, yeah, said better make it count, so went pretty quick, and I think that was enough, to be honest. Yeah.
Went substantially quicker than yesterday.
Yeah, 4.5 seconds, I think. Yeah, but it blew off a coolant pipe then going over the finish, so that was my day. Yeah.
You got to get it home now and checked out.
Yeah, I didn't want to risk it being airlocked, and the Carlo's 3 weeks away, so I'll go home and dust it down and get ready to go again. Yeah.
Great stuff, yeah. Looking forward to your home sprint.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to seeing you there.
Rory Stevens was really enjoying the weekend in his Radical, and close to 1.3 seconds behind Joe by the end of the event.
Rory Stevens just packing up after a weekend here in Dungarvan.
Yes, packing not very well up.
We'll distract you there for a moment. Did you enjoy the weekend?
Great weekend, yeah. Excellent weekend. The weather was brilliant, and we haven't used this hill for 8 years, maybe 9 years. And it's great history in the hill. It's been used for 70, 80 years. And it's in a little bit bumpy, but it's in good enough condition to run a hill in. And it's some drive. It's quick. There's hairpins on it. Great finish. Really good. Everybody seems to have enjoyed it. Michael had a bad start on his first timed run, and we all got a bit excited because Joe was first, I was second, and it started raining, and we were delighted. Sorry, Michael, we weren't really delighted. And he blitzed us in the next. It dried up, and he did a 61, which was actually 3 seconds quicker than Joe and 4 seconds quicker than me. A really good time. But all the classes had great fun. Rally cars loved it. No, it was good. Good crack.
It's a hill of huge contrast. There's very, very fast straights and then absolute tight, huge hairpins. It's amazing.
Well, at the end, it's just speed-wise, something around 138 miles an hour, because it's on the limiter in fourth gear, down to from a 30 mile an hour hairpin, absolutely. And the whole thing about it is really your braking spots into the chicanes and the hairpins. If you get those right, it's just about being sort of brave enough to keep your foot down, because it is flat in the middle. No, it's great crack. Great grip. It's a great weekend.
John Mahan went on strike Saturday, but returned to chase down Robert Bell on Sunday, who had been 5th overall on the opening day. 0.06 of a second was all that separated them on run 1, but Bell stretched the margin as the afternoon progressed. They were 3rd and 2nd in Class 6 and 5th and 6th overall. Alex Wilson was fastest in Class 6 and 4th overall both days in his Radical.
Alex Wilson, you use one of the narrower radicals on these hill climbs. How are you finding it on Dungarvan?
Yeah, the PR6 is kind of the baby radical, and definitely in tighter stuff, the narrow chassis is a big advantage. Chicanes become much bigger and wider than they are for other people, so it's good. The only thing on this hill is it's quite a climb, and there's a long run up to the first bend, and we don't have the top end speed. We probably are suffering a little more than we usually do. Very like a go-kart. Suspension is pretty hard, but we never seem to get any understeer or anything like that. It's very, just like a kart, you just throw it at the bend and go.
Yeah, we could see a little bit of that kind of action in Wexford with the junction. It looked nice and pliable, like you were able to drift it around that square bend.
Yeah, on the exits of the bends you can give it the boot, and you're generally confident that it'll hold.
You double drive with your father. How does that go? Is there a lot of discussion around the dinner table afterwards?
Yeah, discussion is a polite term for it. But no, it works out. And I do a good bit of the work on the car, and on some evenings then we'll come in and he'll do the polishing and I'll do the oily bits.
And is it a car that you've had to develop to Irish spec from its original setup?
We did have to soften the springing. It came from Scotland originally with a very hard setup for the hills over there, which they considered soft relative to some stuff, but we considered way too hard. So the springs were dropped from 500s to 350s. And they could probably go more, but we don't have the ground clearance or the travel, so it's pretty much it works as it is.
Alex is also a driver who has competed internationally.
We also went to the UK last year. We did a 2-day sprint in Anglesey in October, which clashed, I think, with Wexford or something. So, but that was a good event. Suits because the car is kind of track focused. It suited, and we had a good weekend there, winning the National B. So we were happy with that.
Very good. And did you have to stiffen it back up again and drop it again?
No, we didn't. We didn't change too much on it. It probably was a little on the soft side, but there's not a huge degree of adjustability because it runs very low anyway, and probably as you saw yesterday, there's a lot of crashing and banging going on the entries. But Rory said the same thing. He was having similar sort of incidents. So generally, if it's happening to Rory, I'm happy enough too.
Very good. There's a nice little rivalry there between your one and the slightly bigger car.
Yeah.
You get pretty close.
Yeah, they were within half a second in Wexford, I think, and it's kind of two different approaches to the same thing. He's got the big power, the bigger engine. This is a 1600 Hayabusa, so it's kind of one half of his engine, but it's a narrower chassis. So probably what he has in the straights, we have in the bends and the chicanes. So it's an interesting mix.
So maybe the F and Sprint, which is quite narrow, that could suit your car, I'd say.
Yeah, it did well. That was actually my first event in this car, and I came second in it, so I was very pleased with that one, much to Rory's disgust, I think.
Well, congratulations on that, and hope you have some equally successful weekends in the future.
Yeah, fingers crossed for today anyway. Thanks very much.
Alex's father was third in Class 6 on day 2. Mark Dolphin made a splash in 3B on Saturday, third in the class and 8th overall in his red Mark II Escort, causing Peter McKinley to dig deep in order to remain supreme in the Saloons. Brendan Keane was really pushing Peter for the class win with his Westfield, leading after the first run and just over half a second back after the final go Saturday. Brendan also led initially on the second day, but a very impressive second run sealed it for McKinley, despite a great challenge by Keane on 3, which got him within a quarter of a second. Peter, who had initially been driving to honour the history of his car this year, confessed to being unsure about being drawn into tight competition, but said at the same time he didn't want to lose. It was a very strong performance. James Doherty started, now in Class 3A, won the class both days and took a very impressive 9th overall each day. John Kennedy was dramatic as ever in the Dax Rush, for a second and a third in the category. Eddie Walsh was third in Class 3A on Saturday in a Mark I Escort. Peter Boggin was second on Sunday, just keeping ahead of 3 other Mark II drivers in the rally classes. They were Richard Harney, third in 8 Saturday, and second on Sunday. Emmett Cronin, first in Class 9 on the 2 days, and Brian Harney second in 8 on the first round and third on the second. I think these guys like hairpins. Peter Cummins made a welcome return to hill climbing with his Darien T90, second in Class 9 on day 1. Danny Callan claimed that position on the second day in his Corsa, having been third on the first day. John Farrell was third in his Mark I Escort on Sunday, zipping around the course in style. Jason and Pat Ryan sponsored the event, and Jason won his Class 8 both days and was 11th overall in the star that they shared. Dennis Hogan was delighted to get past our camera position on Saturday, exercising the demons of the past. He told us what's been pushing him on.
Dennis Hogan, you've been making some changes to your Beamer. It's moving rather quickly these days. What have you done to it?
I've supercharged it, and it's great. It's like a different car to drive. There's a lot of learning in it, but really enjoying it.
And is that based on the engine you had already, is it?
It is, yeah. So it's you can get bolt-on kits for similar type of engines, but unfortunately none for that engine specifically. So there was a lot of fabrication work and a lot of head scratching and time went into it. Big thanks to Donald Griffin for all of his time and help with it, and Dana Carroll for all of his advice. But we've got it out eventually. It was supposed to be a month-long project, and it took about 4 months. But we had a few mishaps along the way, but nothing too serious.
There's other BMW projects that have run on longer.
Indeed.
Yeah. It seems a pretty efficient way of getting more power out of one of these cars.
Yeah, absolutely. You could spend a similar amount of money and start modifying the engine, and kind of go with a full race build. But you're into kind of reliability issues there. And well, thankfully now I've only done 2 weekends. Thankfully it's pretty reliable so far. So if we can keep that going, it'll be worth its weight in gold. So.
And you didn't actually get it out until you were going to France, so you chose a pretty committed a debut for the car.
Yes, couldn't have gone much further away from home for a test drive, but it ran great, didn't miss a beat all weekend, so we were delighted with it.
It went more than a little bit well. What was your result there in the end?
Second saloon overall. Unfortunately, I was pipped on the last run on the Sunday, so by a guy in WRC Impreza. But it was great having a battle with Peter McKinley and Brendan Keane and all of the lads. It was good fun. Now, really enjoyed it.
And that battle has continued on here this weekend as well.
Oh, some might say otherwise. Peter wiped the floor with me yesterday. So did Brendan. They were both ahead of me. So I'm just hoping the rain holds off today now, and we'll try and catch him.
Oh, well, looking forward to seeing how you get on today. Will you give us a quick look at the engine, please? So the supercharger sits on top of this engine and it's driven by a belt?
That's right, yeah. We just have it mounted on a bracket here above the alternator. It's driven by the crank. There's a small gearbox inside it. It's kind of a hybrid type supercharger. So belt driven with, if you imagine it, a gearbox in the middle and a kind of the back half of a turbo compressor. So it just basically sucks in air and pushes it out, It's that simple.
And did the engine need a lot of work, like to take the extra compression? Is it a different type of head gasket, or?
We've done absolutely nothing with it, so it's all standard internals, hence I'm a little bit worried about how long it's going to last, but there's a lot of guys running these up to maybe 12 psi in standard trim all over the world, so I'm only running it at 10, so hopefully it'll last. So yeah, we'll see.
But the actual power increase just from this?
It was about 305 horsepower thereabouts. It's now 428 horsepower, but it's the torque is the big one. It used to be It used to have 240 foot-pounds of torque. We've now got 334 foot-pounds of torque. So it's a huge change in just the driving of it. It's really lovely to drive now.
Excellent, Dennis. Well, hopefully it lasts long and you continue to enjoy it. Great to see you out.
Thanks very much.
Dennis, who caught McKinley and Keane in France, was third behind them in 3B on Sunday, but was happy with 10th overall each day. Billy White took a break from the Gento Challenge to have a go at the Nova he maintains for Deirdre McKinley. The challenge must have sharpened his skills as he won the Class 1A both days. Deirdre was second each day, but took maximum points in the class championship. Aidan Devlin, who likes to burn rubber, was third in the class on Saturday in a Suzuki Swift. Pierce Hendricks took the honour on Sunday in another Nova. In a great example of sportsmanship, Gerard O'Connor lent his car to Saturday Class 5 winner John Whitley after he suffered a broken driveshaft in his Swift.
Gerard O'Connor, John Whitley had trouble with his car yesterday. He broke a driveshaft, and you guys are in a championship battle, but you've lent him your car today. Is that right?
That's right. I did it many years ago with Siobhan McCann, and Siobhan and myself had a good battle right to the very last event, and that's the way I'd like this championship to go, so that John wouldn't be at a disadvantage for the rest of the season.
It'll help keep it going for the whole season then.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, that's still very sporting of you, Gerard. I better not hold you up. There's your car back.
Okay, thank you.
As you can see, it's a stressful swap over for the double drives. There's not a lot of time. So John's just changing the numbers over there. John, you had trouble with your car yesterday, a broken drive shaft.
Yeah.
But Jared let you sit in for the day, is that right?
Yeah, just so I can get a few points, yeah.
That's very kind. That'll help keep the battle going for the year.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's very different, so different to mine. The brake and the gearing and everything's completely different. So.
Very good. Anyway, you'll understand your opposition now.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, John.
Jared's good grace was rewarded with a class win on Sunday from Michael Nicholson's similar V, which was all in the spin at the top hairpin. Whitley was third in the borrowed car, so their championship battle will continue. Tony Banville reigned supreme in Class 2 over the weekend, heading the 205s. Ger Lunigan was second, using up all of Gary Graham's petrol on Saturday. Gary ran out of fuel on both runs and failed to score a time. Andrew Farmer went from third to second over the weekend in a Honda Civic, while Gary, now brimming with fuel, was third on Sunday. Kieran Gagan was a newcomer to Class 4 and a surprise sensation, winning on scratch time.
Kieran Gagan, you're out for a hill climb in a very attractive little BMW. Can you tell us a bit about the car?
I know the car was built in the UK. I bought it at the end of last year. And yesterday was actually the first day I drove it. There was a HRCA event in Mondello, and I was driving at that. So that was only on yesterday. Since the hill climb is on locally, I only live a few miles away, so I said I'd do it here. But the car's competed in a lot of events in the UK and say in Spa for the 6-hour race and stuff like that. So it's I think a fairly well sorted car. So we'll see how we get on with it.
It seems to be, if you were able to debut with it one day and then add in another event the next, that's great.
Yeah, you might as well use the cars. There's no point in having them locked away. And
and what is it? Is it a 1600?
No, it's a 2 litre. So it's a 2 litre TI with 48 Webers on it, and I think it produces just over 200 brake horsepower. So it's rear wheel drive, and yeah, it's good fun to drive.
Would you be interested in the probably the Anglia?
Oh yes, yeah, absolutely.
And
yeah, I don't even know what other cars are in the class because I only arrived this morning, so I don't know what else is here. But yeah, I'm just here to enjoy it and have fun. So.
Well, welcome to the Irish Hill Climb and Sprint Championship.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Seamus Anderson had been fastest on the first day, was second on day 2 in his famous Anglia, a retro classic. Ned Flahavan was third in his beautiful Lancia Fulvia. Not quite sounding on song here, but great to see new blood in this class. Gary Egan still has a red dot on his back, dominating the Cento Challenge this year with his very neat racing lines. Neil Bradbury continues to throw everything he has at him and got down to within 5/10 of him by Sunday evening. Damien Walsh made a brief return on Saturday and was immediately on form, taking third. On Sunday he tried his hand in his father's MK and promptly beat Mick Walsh to 12th overall. Mick was 13th and took 2 5th places in 3B. Danny Hurley was third in the Centos on day 2, eclipsing Damien's Saturday time. Overall, it was a summery weekend in Waterford, and spirits were very high at the prize giving Saturday night.
Thanks very much for coming. Thanks to McKinley Motor Club for running an iconic bit of road, and it was lovely just to even get an opportunity to drive it, to be honest. And I had a very enjoyable day. Shame we didn't get a few more runs, but circumstances held against us. But look, delighted, and thanks very much, and looking forward to a great day. Thank you.
It's great to have the sweep at Dungarvan back in the calendar.